Hey everyone, it's Lena. Thank you for joining me today. This video is one of the most requested videos that I received. I think a lot of people are a little bit intimidated by oil paints. I completely understand why it can be confusing and you might not know where to start. If you are new, this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, or if you have not already, please go watch my basics of oil painting video where I cover all the very basics of oil painting and everything you need to know to get started. So if you have not seen that video, please go watch it. So the purpose of this video that I am making right now is just to give you a demonstration with one kind of medium and solvent. So it's just two basic things that you can use to get started. If you are confused, I think these two mediums are a wonderful start. So my favorite odorless mineral spirits, this is what I use to clean my brushes as I'm working, after I'm working. If you hear kids screaming, it's because there's a pool right by my window and it's summertime and everybody's at the pool. So gamsol is a wonderful solvent. This is the standard for a lot of painting environments like classrooms, workshops. And this is what I switched to and have been using for a very long time. And then the medium, my personal favorite, is galkyd. This is an alkyd resin medium. It increases the drying time and it improves the flow of the paint, and this is what we're going to use. We're also going to follow the fat over lean rule, which basically means that with every layer you're going to bring in a little bit more oil. Don't freak out, don't be scared, it's not as difficult as it sounds. It's not that bad. I'm just going to show you a very basic demonstration of one way you can do this. Before I start, I want to clarify, you're also going to see a little dish like what I'm actually mixing my mediums in. You'll see that it looks like there's stuff already in it, but it's a completely dry dish. It just has like some old dried up paint in it, which is not going to interfere with my medium. For this piece, I'm using a canvas panel and a small glass palette. The palette is just a glass part of a picture frame that I took out of the frame. For the first layer, I'm going to use mostly gamsol with a little bit of galkyd. I'm not measuring here, I'm just eyeballing. Since the first layer needs to have the least amount of oil, we're going to add the least amount of medium. Then using burnt umber, I combine it with the mixture that we just made to create a very diluted layer for the underpainting. The purpose of an underpainting is to establish the basic shapes and values of the painting so you're not just staring at a blank canvas. It gives you a starting point. I use burnt umber because it's a very neutral and earthy tone that works well under all kinds of colors. The idea with the underpainting is not to add a lot of paint. I like to think of this part as being similar to watercolor. Really, we're just thinning out that burnt umber, and because we're working with such a thin layer, it should dry very quickly. I usually wait about a half hour or an hour, and then I can proceed with the first color layer. And no, the underpainting will not muddy up my colors. Following fat over lean, we are going to increase the oil content of the second layer. I'm adding a bit more galkyd to the same mixture I already had. Then I mix this onto my palette with my colors and proceed with my painting, gradually adding this medium onto my palette to make it flow more smoothly and also to increase the drying time. Since we're not thinning the paint so much, we're actually using a lot more oil paint for this layer. The oil content of the oil paint itself is also going to add some oil to layer 2. Because galkyd is a relatively fast drying medium, this layer will most likely dry in 24 hours. If you're happy with how your second layer came out, then you can just leave it at that. It's really not mandatory for an oil painting to have a certain number of layers. It's really up to you and where you are happy with your results. But I usually like to go for a third or fourth, and sometimes even up to 6 layers to really work up the details. In this case, I'm just doing 3 layers. Once the surface of the painting is dry to the touch, I'm going to work on layer 3. I'm mixing a new batch of medium here, this time using mostly galkyd with a little bit of gamsol, but the majority of this mixture is going to be galkyd. You can even use galkyd by itself, but I do like to mix in a little bit of gamsol in there to increase the viscosity and make the paint flow more smoothly. This is the final layer where I really build up the details, smooth things out, and make any color corrections that I think are necessary. And then the painting is finished. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Layer 1 is the basic shapes and values layer where it's just a really thin layer of burnt sienna. Layer 2 is the first color layer. We're using much thicker paint just to basically get down all the basic colors that you see. And then layer 3 is for fixing any imperfections in your work. If you see colors that are not accurate, you can tweak them and correct them, or just build up the colors you already have. You don't have to make your medium ratios exactly like mine. Just make sure that gradually with each new layer you do increase the amount of oil. I don't know if I can stress this enough, but please just take it easy. Like, oil painting doesn't have to be this terrifying, intimidating process. It should be enjoyable, it should be fun, and that's how it is for me. So be patient with yourself. Don't expect a masterpiece from your very early results. You're still learning. I'm still learning. I think every artist is going to be forever learning. Do look for other videos on YouTube that demonstrate this process differently. Just, branch out. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just one angle. This is just my personal experience and my process. There's a lot of information out there. I'm not making this video because I want to tell you how to do things. This is just a brief demonstration of one way that you can approach mediums with just one medium. I really appreciate your feedback. Let me know what else you'd like to see. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. It helps my YouTube channel a lot. And if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this one and time lapses of my work. I am going to put the original painting in my art store, and I also have prints of my work for anyone interested. This painting that I finished recently is actually a very limited edition run. There's only going to be 30 prints made total ever in the world, and yeah, once they're sold out, they're not going to be made again. I'm also going to link the products that I used in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!